Tried to record this message, guys. It's currently Wednesday the 18th of September. Andy PG isn't here, but today we have set the date for the next Rise Above get together, March the 8th 2025. A hotel in central Bournemouth, 5 minutes walk from the train station and the coach station. It's a Rise Above weekend in a hotel. A great chance for all you guys to meet up and meet us guys. We're going to be having a live podcast with an audience, followed by a party, at least 4 hours of music with all of your favourite Ramish DJs and MCs. I'm not going to record this again, even if I fluff the lines. Who else is going to be involved? I can tell you straight away. Sheep Farm are our main guests. Also, Mark Devlin, he's going to be playing a music set too. The only way to get tickets right now are on Patreon, aka Peasantron. You can sign up by using the QR code or go into the link in the description. When you sign up to Patreon, you also get a 33% discount on the tickets, £22 only, rather than the full price of 33 quid. So, once again, March 8th, Central Bournemouth Hotel, great transport links. You can stay. We're all going to be staying in the same hotel, having an awesome weekend together. Get on Patreon now and get your tickets. See you there. Right, so speaking of space, I think we should probably address the massive gold.
Are we getting a curry in?
Gold tandoori tinfoil monstrosity, right? That's been all over the news like the last day or two. Okay, we had to go there.
Tandoori.
So let's start with what actually happened last week, which is lesser known. Last week, or at least at the start of this week, maybe. There was a failed Russian lunar landing attempt. Did you know this?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
I mean, I'd sort of heard it. But it hadn't been plastered all over the place. Not as much as the successful one that India allegedly did. A failed lunar mission dents Russian pride and reflects deeper problems with Moscow's space industry. Such a great opportunity to have a pop at Russians, isn't it? Oh, failed rocket.
Fuck off.
You know, the space industry going down the pan. Same as all the Putin's plans. Do you know what I mean?
This is just another thing. Like they put out. This is just another like fishing hook for the peasantry, just to see if they bite.
Yeah,
this is all this is.
I mean, at least Russia's got better CGI than India does, by the looks of it.
Yeah, definitely. Any opportunity they've got to like embarrass Putin or whatever, they're going to blatantly.
Yeah, embarrassing Putin by
Mate, the amount of Ukraine flags in Prague was quite phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, mate, it was fucking rife.
Wow.
Well,
So this is what the Russian attempt. Okay. This meme is by Freddie Stevenson. Big shout out to Freddie. The moon landing. This is obviously like the Indian version now. India sponsors Fortnite. Low graphics setting. So believe it or not, the picture here in the background of this meme is the picture presented to the world of the Indian moon landing. And the video as well. Does anyone want to see a video?
fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look.
जी हाँ, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल
People are applauding. Let
Lander
us all
module.
wait to hear from the Secretary Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा की सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये हम लोगों के लिए बहुत ही गर्व की बात है। हिंदी में एक
I think we get the
Everything about that is completely laughable. It really is.
I mean,
Honestly.
right, so we don't need to discuss whether that was real footage or not because we know it's not. Now, the next question is, are they pretending that that is actual footage of what happened? Or is everyone there clapping knows that that is a computer simulation of what they believe is happening? Because obviously the globalists, as Bro Sanchez calls them, big up Bro Sanchez, the globalists would straight away say, no, you guys are stupid. No one believes that's actually footage. They're saying that's actually footage. Everyone knows it's a computer generated graphic to simulate what's going on. But my question is that the official line from India? Is that the official line from the BBC that have shown that?
Yeah, clearly.
Do all
shown it.
Yeah, but but what I'm saying is they haven't made that claim. No one on the mainstream channels that's shown that footage. And I don't know, was there more of it? Oh yeah, here's some more. Let me get this one. This is of the rover coming out of that thing that just landed on the moon. Now this is supposed to be real footage, allegedly. Let's have a look.
So majestic.
So,
Is that a Bollywood
just
production?
a quick question. Well, a quick couple of questions. Miss Becky was saying about the previous footage. If that is apparently real, obviously we're not saying it is, but if that is apparently real, who took the footage? How was the camera out on the deck before to film it coming down? And I'm saying that footage we just watched there of the alleged actual 100% confirmed definite footage of it. Wouldn't it have been better quality if matey just whipped out his iPhone and quickly fucking filmed that?
Do anyone want to see a picture of what we just
Is
saw
there a
in the
NASA
footage?
camera at this stage in 2023?
Would a mobile phone work out there?
Why not? You don't have to have any signal, do you, to take a video?
I don't know. Can a phone work up there?
Well, you don't need the phone to work. You just, I don't know. I'm not an astronaut, but you think you could keep
Well,
it
I
charged
think what
up
Andy
from
PG
the,
is trying to say is that if
saying
we
the
can
camera's
take
shit,
if we
mate.
can take a good picture on a mobile phone, why haven't NASA got a good footage of that?
Like-
So that thing that we just watched in the video, let me just get rid of the video to save on CPU power here. Is this? This is what it is. Wow, that's what the landing.
I'm saying they painted all this shit green round here and filmed it from that.
I think they made a poor computer model of that on like an Atari or a Commodore 64 or something. So that's the lunar module coming out there. This is what they reckon. I mean, I'm not. People are like obviously taking the piss out of this quite rightly, But I mean, my first observation is, like, have they actually cut? Are they really actually just taking the piss? Up the top there, that just looks like toilet rolls covered in golden tin foil. Has technology not come along since the 60s when they just made it out of like duct tape and cardboard?
I don't know, mate. Should
we have a look at some more
very
pictures?
odd. Yeah, fuck yeah.
So yeah, I think these are diagrams.
Yeah, that's a computer image. Yeah.
So why can't we see photos? Surely they would have documented this and take loads of photos. Here we go.
Well, look, people are taking photos of what is clearly like sub PlayStation 1 graphics. That's like an NES.
Space Invaders.
It's like original Nintendo graphics, that is.
Keep it real.
Somebody knocked that up on their lunch break.
But you know, the fact that people are there with their lanyards on that work for the Indian Space company or whatever it is, organisation, right? They're there taking videos of what is clearly a shit representation of something else on their phones.
They're in some kind of. I'm just looking at the top
Indian
left-hand corner of the image. They're in some kind of
actors,
warehouse with, like, you know, drops coming down.
Well, yeah, Beats. This is sort of what I'm getting at, right? If this is the Indian version of NASA, I would actually say that these people, at least within their role, if their role is genuine, that they probably do believe this is what they're seeing is real.
This way. So the American government get Hollywood to make their little installations. Well, the Indian government have only got Bollywood. You look at the two comparisons.
Oh, mate, I've seen a great meme. It was the lyrics from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Cool.
And it said, I can't remember the actual lyrics of it. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Bollywood basement.
I think I may even have that meme. Yeah. I might have that meme.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Here's some more actual photos. This is before it went to the moon. Anyone notice anything about this photo? Anything jump out at you?
It's a drawing on the wall, isn't it?
About what? The right or the left?
Well,
or all of it?
Let's say on the right. Let's say on the right over here.
2D.
Well, before, yeah, I can see what you mean with these two casings.
It doesn't look real, mate.
What's this?
Yeah, checkerboard.
Why has it got Masonic checkerboard on it?
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Why is it? Is it sponsored by the police? Is the police going to the moon? Okay. So these are the official photos. You can see how big it is because you've got these guys down here in their purple lab coats, magenta lab coats.
Nice.
Right.
Isn't that like the fucking racing flag for the end of the last lap? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's usually that
checkered flag. Yeah, but that's mind control in itself.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Right. Okay. So we've got
a fourth country.
let me get another video up because there is another video, I'm sure.
The Virgin.
And your Space Invaders.
Did I not get the other Space Invaders video?
I wonder what.
No, there it is. There it is. It was just a close up of the actual
one.
Right.
The altitude is being brought down from 800 meters, and we are nearing and approaching the lunar surface.
जी, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर का हाइट लगातार कम होता जा रहा है। इस समय हम लैंडिंग साइट के जस्ट ऊपर हैं और इस समय इसकी अब हमें देख सकते हैं कि हम लगभग 150 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं चंद्रमा के सतह।
So, is this just an animation that they've made that corresponds to the altitude of it when it's coming into land, just so they can see like how close it is to the surface? So I'm just off the top of my head. Is that what this is? And that's why they're clapping, because they're aware that it's not actually real what they're physically looking at, but they're aware of that it's actually land.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. I'm saying yes, it is. Of course, it is. Of course, I this is what I'm saying, and the whole point of why I've been leading you guys here, right? This is exactly what happens at NASA too. They watch something on the screen which is a representation because, like you say, when that thing lands,
Who's
what's
taking
there
the
to be
photo?
filming it?
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
But however, no,
Right.
on that matter, fuck me, we got buildings with CCTV on. Can't NASA have a camera like that? You can see the whole thing, like see how when it's actually. So we would be able to see the lunar surface.
But the place
And shit.
yeah, no, totally. I totally agree with you that it should be like they should have drones flying around
Yeah,
filming
mate,
it exactly because that technology already exists, right? But what I'm saying is, if let's say that those people that work in there are not actors and they really think that their job is real, and let's say that that's the same as most people that are working there with their headphones on at NASA in the control rooms going, yay.
Wanking when it.
Well, imagine like the only data they're getting is from the screen in front of them, which is probably a load of telemetric data, which is then put into an animation like that to show them what's going on. That's the only information that they've got.
But why not just put a fucking camera on the outside of the fucking thing?
Because if you can fool people by just doing that, that's fucking powerful. By literally just saying, sit in front of this computer, this is mission control, you're in charge of the mission. We've given you the whole parameters of what space travel is. Johnny Fogg's calling in. Ree. Welcome. Yo, Johnny, welcome to Rise Above. It's definitely.
You hear me?
Yes, there he is. Welcome, Meat Master. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Great show, guys. Lots of interesting subjects. Love it. Good callers.
Oh, mate, we're not finished yet.
It's been varied tonight.
Yeah. Right, I just want to call in while you're on this moon thing because you just hit it on the head, right? So I think that video that they're all clapping to is quite clearly meant to be an illustration, of what it's meant to be doing as it's landing and all that bollocks. But so they haven't got a camera of it landing, but as soon as it's landed, they've got a camera which looks like it's been filmed on a fucking potato of the little rover leaving the spaceship.
Correct.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and that camera that's filming the most important thing they've ever done, it looks like it's recording about 3 frames per second.
I like it. I think it's brilliant.
You know, and for anyone who doesn't know about frames per second, regular video or film is like 24. You want to get to high quality, 60 frames per second. But that was like, it was like so jittery. If they could get a phone call from the moon in the 60s, what are you saying? You can't get me some 720p footage from the moon right now? Come on. Well, it hasn't come.
Jokes, isn't it?
Who's that?
So just keep chatting to Johnny for a sec.
Oh, okay.
Do you think that they stole the plans of how to land on the moon from NASA? Is that how they've managed to do it?
Maybe they lost all of that data that NASA lost in those unexplained events, right? And they finally got their hands on it, and they just paid some cheap asses in India to like summarize it, and then they've come up with that. Just put some gold tin foil on it instead.
So as we've got Johnny here, I just quickly looked through the rest of the Schwab show, and we haven't got the meme that I commissioned, which was my good Ramesh wife Becky's idea. So this is what Johnny came up with, and he was mighty hasty with it as well. So hats off to you, Johnny Fogg, mate. So what?
I've done that with my toast and tea in the morning, mate.
This is brilliant. So we've got an Indian call centre here on the moon, just taking your call. This dude here in the forefront, he's obviously a fan of the show. In his little cubicle, he's got a RAR sticker.
Dig up.
He's there enjoying his work life. So thank you for that, Johnny, mate. Excellent work, sir.
No problems, man. No problems. I wanted to get the. Do you remember the program Phone Jacker?
Yes, mate. Yes, I do.
You get free ring ding. I wanted to get that guy, but I couldn't get a good enough shot with him in a call centre.
Yeah. I know.
That was actually really funny when
that
it
was
first
funny.
came out.
Phone Jacker was good, mate.
Yeah,
it was good.
That was in the same era as John Dolly with Trigger Happy TV.
That's the one, mate. That's the one.
Yeah, he just wasn't funny after that.
I'm going to let you guys crack on because you've got plenty to get through, I'm sure.
Awesome, man. Nice to talk to you, Johnny, mate.
Great to hear from you, mate, and keep up the meme.
Good show, guys.
Awesome, man.
Nice
Speak to you soon, brother.
Take care, mate.
Ta-da. Bye.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Oh my goodness. Did anyone else notice that apart from the checkerboard
Ah,
Did you,
I didn't notice. No, I haven't looked at this much. I just saw what I saw.
noticed this the other day as soon as I saw it, and then someone already made the meme. By
That's
the time
really
I
good.
come-
That's really good.
So, knowing what we know about how everything's got to be anti-Russia at the moment, isn't it just so coincidental that the Russians, they had like a failed one last week, and their CGI was definitely much better, and then in utter mockery, the next people for the very next week to hit the moon, they do it, and that's what they've presented to everyone. That was their CGI.
So that what they're basically saying there is India, a far less developed country than Russia's got better tech. That's what they're saying in the peasant sphere. That's just another blow to Russia.
Yeah. I mean, if they're
Shout out to Putin.
if this has already been being orchestrated from a central force or some sort of like agent of AIX or whatever, how you ever want to think about this, then there's got to be some.
This is a holographic construct.
Exactly. There's got to be some overall plan to play these nations off against each other. So the space race is something that sort of like went away for years, and now suddenly it's back on the table again.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, I think watch this space. That's good, wasn't it?
Watch the space, Michael.
But wait, there's more. There is more. Hold on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, someone here pointing out the checkerboard on the landing craft.
Got the two pillars there with the side.
Yeah, very Freemasonic just by its very nature. So the claim is that the Indians landed on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, the Schwab side of the moon.
Right, so on the dark side of the moon, that means you don't see the sun, right?
No, mate, no. It's dark.
So what's that in the sky?
It's the sun, mate.
Are you sure it's not the moon?
Oh, it might be the moon, yeah.
If someone told them you can't see the moon from the moon, well, it can't be the sun, can it? Because it's the dark side of the moon.
Interesting. Or
that's an official Indian
a question.
image.
If you're up on the moon, allegedly, on the surface of the lunar satellite, is that like the closest sun? Not the sun, but is that like the closest star to the moon? Is that what we're seeing here or not? You can't see any other stars around it.
No, a star wouldn't be that big.
So there you go.
But it can't.
It's either a star, the sun, or the moon. What is it? Come on, somebody email India.
Isn't that just a reflection of whatever's behind it there?
Reflecting on what? The firmament?
Well, whatever that is, there's like a Christmas tree.
Let's throw that in the mix, shall we?
Look, what's that Christmas tree shaped thing behind the circle? See the white
Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's like it's got two or a very childlike angels drawing. It's like two triangles on top of each other behind the circle. Look out wider. See it there?
What, that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, and below there's a pyramid. See that one there? So isn't it just reflecting off the top of that?
No, it's not a pyramid.
No, I don't think so.
What is it then?
No, it's just like it's just a light. It's just a light glare.
I don't know what it is.
What, even at the bottom?
Well, it's a bit tall for a pyramid.
Yeah, no, I realise that. I'm saying
it's either a luminary itself or it's a reflection. But what it's reflecting off, I can't.
Can we have a vote in the live chat, please? Is that the sun?
Is this
the moon?
image? Is this image like an official?
Yes, this is
Bollywood
the
image.
Official Bollywood space program.
Nice.
Obviously, Al Gore's done that.
Oh, but someone's saying it's a stage light.
Oh, yeah, quite possibly.
Give Up Records says it's a stage light. I like that. Yeah. These are official Indian cloud space images.
I tell you what, looking at that, if you think about light and its trajectory, then the lights are from above, aren't they? If those two triangles behind that circle is light, you're saying, then it's coming from above, isn't it? Not.
Also, as well, if you see, so that light, what we're seeing in the image in the top right, that is obviously behind the, let's call it the rover. I don't know what the fuck the name of it is. So what's casting the shadow on the flag? This side of it.
It's a crease. Oh, yeah, but
what's also causing the flag
and there's the shadow on the side, look, but onto the front here.
The moon's not supposed to have any atmosphere.
No, and if that's the sun, shouldn't that be behind it? What's casting the light there? That side.
The shading's wrong on that as well, because the sun, if you look at the front tyres, would be in front of the front tyres there. not behind it. Because you can see the front tires, can't you? They're not black.
And look here to the left.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Look here to the left. Get the mouse slants over here. Look, the shadow's here pointing this way.
I think maybe they got Al Gore to make this image, and they can we have a cool shot of the moon, and Al Gore just like, I can do even better. I'll give you fucking a space probe on the moon, and I'll put the moon in the background as well.
Nice.
That's the kind of thing Al Gore does.
Okay.
He always tries to over deliver.
Retarded.
Yeah. It's just that sometimes it is a bit retarded. The one on the left, I think some people got upset by this meme.
Oh, fuck off.
The fact is, India does have a problem with toilets. They have like over 100 people per working toilet.
Yeah, mate.
You know,
They're in the shit.
people say, "Oh, you shouldn't take the mick out of people in developing countries that don't have proper sanitation."
That's awesome.
But if you've got enough money to send to make a CGI rocket to send to the moon and spend $75 million,
Oh, politics.
can people really whine about if someone makes a meme about like people shitting on the floor in India?
Remember, I've told you guys many times.
Space Invaders, Atari. I don't know who made this one. It does look exactly like Space Invaders, doesn't it? Literally.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So, just to finish this off, $75 million is what it cost for the Indian space mission to go to the moon. The Martian, 108 million. Interstellar, 165 million. Avatar, 237 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see where they scrimped on the budget. It was mainly on the AI they scrimped, I think.
Well, to be fair, they probably did buy the extra thick tinfoil as well and some good gold spray paint. Is that actually gold on there? Do you think? Is that?
I think it's supposed.
Is that something that's supposed is actually gold?
Well, if it is gold, you can see where the other part of the 75 million went.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does it because it's going to the
CGI.
moon? Is that closer to the sun than we are on Earth? Is that to reflect light? Do you think is that what has the actual gold?
And I think what it is
Because
a lot
gold's a
of metals-
superconductor, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of metals don't handle the passing the firmament too well.
The firmament, right? Yeah.
Maybe it was to shield them from the Nan Allen belt that you're on.
Yeah.
So that's not yours.
No, what, this meme?
Well, no, that.
Oh, the Nan Allen belt.
Yeah.
Alan's Nan's.
No, I can't take credit for it. I didn't come up with it.
You're errant, which means you're a problem.
When we generate, rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract stillness, rise above, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, extinguish fear when we generate, rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract stillness, rise above, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, extinguish fear when we generate. Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract stillness, rise above, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, extinguish fear when we generate. generate. This is more than 232s in a hook. You want lyrics? I write books. Where your head double L overtook. With a statement you can't overlook. And I draw rhymes you can't unhear. Plot lines never unclear. And I tell them, direct to your ear. I doubt the signs that guided us here. And these lies from lost puppeteers who cut through throats like Schroff's buccaneers. Call to arms, don't volunteer. Or take orders from brigadier. From war and carnage, they profiteer. The march goes on till we disappear. It's my duty to interfere. Smash them system like chandelier. MC chat about whips and cars. I rap bars about pyramids on Mars. And other weird subjects, hidden for years, locked in casks. Strap a protective mask, inform your collective. War a star. It's a harrowing task, and I'm swimming in fears on a narrowing path. I'm powering past. All these bullshit rappers will devour you last. And they're carrowing fast. Drop from the top of a towering shaft. Push from the ledge of a soaring peak. Shook from the pledge of a war and speak. The outlook's bleak. Frozen breath cause the output's weak. Rise above when we generate. Rise above, generate. Rise above, extinguish fear when we generate. Rise above when we generate. Rise above, extinguish fear when we generate love. Rise above when we generate. Rise above, generate. Rise above, extinguish fear when we generate. Rise above when we generate. Rise above, and extinguish fear when we generate.
Before we look at the awful content of Clown World, we like to fire up a device called the catalytic converter. This piece of ancient Ramish technology basically means that all of this terrible Clown World media, we can use it and fuel this machine to try and have some spiritual, or at least maybe not progression, but we can at least get some comedy out of it, right? Because at the end of the day, there is quite a lot of sludge. I've had a couple of conversations in the last couple of weeks about the smartwatch, and people, talking into the smartwatch, and they go, why didn't you get a smartwatch?
Smartwatch.
And I'm just thinking, what, you honestly think I need another screen? Like, there's a really good comedy sketch by this American Asian comedian, Jimmy Chung or something like that, his name is, and he says, we've already got I sit there all day in front of this screen, and then I pull this screen out of my pocket. Now you're just trying to put an even smaller screen in between this screen and this screen and that screen. It's like how the multiple screens of Clown World.
Some people love that shit.
The glasses will be next, though, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though. I was quite interested with those glasses, right? Because how long ago did they try to do the Google glasses? It's actually quite a long time ago now. I think we'd all be surprised to find it's probably about 8 or 10 years ago. They tried to bring out those Google glasses, and they had all the technology ready to go. And I remember reading a couple of stories about people getting beaten up in bars for wearing them, because people were literally like, "You're just recording me."
All right, yeah.
And they obviously didn't take off. Those new ones that have just come out now, the Ray-Bans that have got Facebook built in or Instagram, so you can just go like that.
Wow. To be honest, I've always wanted a pair of them, because I go to concerts and I get really sore arm holding a video camera like that. I thought it would be ideal, again, just to put it on there and watch the gig in peace. But yeah, it's this whole technology, AI and all this stuff, it's getting us further away from our humanity, really. We're dependent on all this stuff. If you look at schools back 150 years ago, their curriculum and that was like far advanced than what most of us are capable now. So are we really evolving, so to speak?
Well, here's the problem. I mean, I've been using the AI art to save a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I can see, for instance, if kids were allowed to be used ChatGPT in school, Well, within one semester, there would be no need for them to learn to write anymore.
Right.
Because
how often do students write these days anyway?
Well, there's already papers out. There's a problem where, because
Obviously you learn to write when you're like,
yeah, but that's the
really
thing now.
young.
The tablet and the keyboard is so prevalent that they're cheap enough for every
and
student.
like everyone's
to have
got a
one.
calculator on their phone, haven't they? Like people really don't need to learn like basic maths. They could just do it, you know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, if this big Nibiru sun thing hits and all technology gets wiped out, like should we have a backup analog thing for money? People talk about the Bradbury pound and just everything should have an analog backup, but we're putting the whole world into digital so that will just get wiped out and then it'll be chaos because there's nothing to run anything.
Well, because they'd have removed you from your true self, which is the physical at the moment. You know, in this dimension, we are a three-dimensional physical meat sack.
Yeah, and I think that's why when I'm making these plans with the Ra Academy for this learning portal, I think it's very important. Like we say, learn about the AI and the technology, because if you don't know about it and you are not able to master it, there's a point in the future where you would be in a situation, not just metaphorically, actually physically, where you'd be chucking a rock at a self-replicating nano robot, a self-repairing machine, right? So don't leave yourself in that point of ignorance, but also we do need to concentrate on the things that do take us back to basics, back into self, into presence, into nature, into the meat suit, and master the meat suit. I think for me and what we're trying to do with the Ra Academy, it's all about the balance. Because
you have to learn how to use Clown World.
Yeah, I mean, and
digitally,
and to harness the technology so it doesn't end up harnessing you.
Yeah,
I think what for me is not to use Clown World, but to revert it back to before Clown World.
Well, because if you look at it like this, if you go back and the last sort of revolution, you could say would be the internet and the online world, and having to have your Apple ID or your Google ID to access online services. Now, some people, usually of the older generation, were very late to the party. And you see the way that those people behave when they go online. And I don't mean behaving badly on social media. I mean, they're like babies when they're logging onto things.
And they become vulnerable.
They're writing their passwords down in all the wrong, et cetera, et cetera. They're vulnerable. And those people, guess what? By statistical proof, you could show that the level that they get scammed on the internet is like not just double or triple, it's like to the power of 10 or 20. The people in those age group and then demographics, they are the literal prey of the internet scammers and the predators that are trying to get into your details, into your sort code and account number and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think as we're stepping into this new fourth industrial revolution, it is, like you say, it's important to realize that that stuff is going to get us away from your humanity. But if you don't have any knowledge,
it's coming anyway.
Yeah.
Like there's not, no one's going to.
Well,
stop.
unless you really want to go back to basics and actually just exit and go full Amish
and live like full army. That would be Amish.
Yeah. Actually, just go full Amish. Yeah.
I think you still need the balance, like you said before, Lance. I think it's a very important factor is to know, first and foremost, know your enemy.
Well, here's the thing, right? If all of this stuff, and we had like a Skynet situation where all of this was automated and run by AI, and these self-governing communities were starting to be cracked down by droids. If these self-governing communities didn't have any knowledge of that nano Schwab technology and AI, they wouldn't be able to build any defenses.
Man,
no.
ChatGPT didn't even know about fucking Skynet. I had to school it.
Well, you were teaching ChatGPT.
No, I was like, so what's the deal then? You're going to take over the world and kill humans or what? That's my opening statement to it.
Have you had any interactions with AI, Billy? Have you had to go on ChatGPT, or have you produced any pictures on these little apps?
ChatGPT, but I've got a couple of softwares that you type in one word and it builds you a website. Like type in plumber, and you've got plumbers.
I need that shit in my life.
Yeah.
So that's what the technology should be used for. This is the good of that technology.
I see it as massively as a double-edged sword. It could stop people from exercising their creativity. It could stop them from being creative in the first place. But I think in the hands of the right creator, it could be used to massively expand your creativity as well.
I think so.
Pink Floyd said that with the technology back then. They were criticised for just being. They said, "Well, give it to somebody else then and see what they do with it." So it's a tool. It depends on the person.
Exactly, it's a tool. It's no different to the Stone Age man having a little pick in his in his bag for a stone tool. We've got electronic and digital tools now.
I mean, like the rate I've been able to create images and therefore create visions of what we're trying to do.
Heavy.
No, it is heavy, and hey, some people have turned their nose up at it and they don't like it. Well, not when things change very rapidly, and you try to adapt. There is going to be some broken eggs in that omelette, that metaphysical omelette.
If you had the notion that AI is like Satan, though, it's like it's going to overtake humanity, and then some people claim that it get to a point where.
Right. Well, I've heard people say it's like using a Ouija board, right? Even with doing this. Okay, so I use Midjourney, which is there's two really big ones for the text to image generator. There's Midjourney or Stable Diffusion.
Oh, there's another one as well. I can't think what it's called.
Now, as far as I know, what it actually does is it takes your command on a whole set of multi-parameters that you need to learn, and then it takes all of the images from the internet and it swabs them all together and comes up with something else. But from what's already there. And this is why there are already copyright suits coming up from digital artists, because they can see the likeness of their work in what's being generated by Midjourney. Well, guess what? If you put out loads of digital art online.
Well, I'll tell you where it comes from is because, especially with Midjourney, you can put in a style of the Renaissance or style of, I don't know, a famous like Renoir or someone, whoever it is, and it'll put it in that style. So yeah, that is a kind of a rip-off of that artist style. However, it's still not.
But the only way that it knows what the text command is by referencing what's already on the internet. That's how it works, because I've looked into it quite a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So, I've been researching AI for years, Billy, and I've heard all of these arguments that put forward that we could be bringing forth some sort of entity. I've looked into the church that's worshipping the coming AI god. That already exists and stuff. So,
black goo as well. We heard of that.
The black goo thing, yeah, that absolutely intrigues me. I don't really know an awful lot about it, but it appears in a lot of pretty seminal films, and it's like the Red Mercury thing as well.
Well, this is what Godvaz was saying was the Jesus' blood.
Yeah. Have you heard of the creator on YouTube?
I'll say his name properly.
Called his. Oh my god! You can't say.
No.
We call him Godvaj. It's like, it looks like Goj Vlamast. It's a Flemish word.
God, like Namaste or something.
Yeah. Wait.
God gave Lamste.
Yes. Crater Earth.
Talks about the moon being.
Yes. How do you pronounce his name?
I pronounce it as God gave Lamste.
God gave Namste, yeah.
God gave Lamste, but that's just...
We call him Godvaj.
Because we can't say his name.
But I'll tell you a story. He watches this show, mate, and we watch him as well. And we often critique his stuff. Well, we never don't critique. We just admire it. I've asked him to make a special video for people that are attending the event. Right. And this week he emailed me back and he made it. I'm not going to drop it now. You have to come to the event. But what I'm going to say, in this video, he addresses the Rise Above audience, right? And he says for the first time ever his own name. We say Godvaj. And the way he pronounces it, mate, in Flemish
is unreal.
It's unreal. It's like the forbidden, ineffable, unspeakable word of God. It's fucking mental. I never expected it to sound like this. Big shout out to Godvaj, aka Wim.
God gave Lamste. I was quite close to it.
Yeah.
No, not in reality, but
after the event, I will play it on the show. He's made a special video. It's 3 minutes 30 seconds long, and we're going to put it on the projector on the opening night of the event for everyone. So that's a little special treat. But yeah, hearing him say his own name on camera for the first time ever was like a moment. I was like, oh my god, I think I even dropped my drink on the floor or something. One of those moments. Right, let's get back to Clan World. What have we got here?
So, what do you think of this idea that We are living on a globe, except the globe is much bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
The greater,
that's what he
Earth.
says as well. Isn't it?
The
He
greater
says-
Earth theory. Yeah.
It's an interesting-
I've got a lot of time for that, and that for me that kind of explains why the whole level water thing. Well, if we're in some sort of crater, it's basically like a pond,
in a fish bowl,
like a pond. Yeah, it makes sense.
Audio today's language. Checks of Aryan kickness, nevertheless ethics of Aryan princes, skeptical members above the witches. Rise above, I can't hear you. We rise above, extinguish fear, we generate war. Rise above, extinguish fear, we generate love. Yo, we rise above, extinguish fear, we generate love. A single candle lights up the darkness into the skill we all harness.
Yo, like make some noise, Rise above. Let's fucking go, man. Saturday night, you know what it is. I will. Sorry, one sec. Yeah.
Tried to record this message, guys. It's currently Wednesday, the 18th of September. Andy PG isn't here, but today we have set the date for the next Rise Above get together, March the 8th, 2025. A hotel in central Bournemouth, 5 minutes walk from the train station and the coach station. It's a Rise Above weekend in a hotel. A great chance for all you guys to meet up and meet us, guys. We're going to be having a live podcast with an audience, followed by a party, at least 4 hours of music with all of your favourite Ramish DJs and MCs. I'm not going to record this again, even if I fluff the lines. Who else is going to be involved? I can tell you straight away. Sheep Farm are our main guests. Also, Mark Devlin, he's going to be playing a music set too. The only way to get tickets right now are on Patreon, aka Peasantron. You can sign up by using the QR code or go into the link in the description. When you sign up to Patreon, you also get a 33% discount on the tickets, £22 only, rather than the full price of 33 quid. So, once again, March 8th, Central Bournemouth Hotel, great transport links. You can stay. We're all going to be staying in the same hotel, having an awesome weekend together. Get on Patreon now and get your tickets. See you there. Welcome to Rise Above.
Hey, Lance. It's Jeff.
How you doing? All right?
I'm good, yeah. Am I actually live on the show?
You certainly are live on the show. Just treat it like a phone call, mate. But please don't say the C or the V word.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was a delay on the isn't there?
How long have you been watching Rise Above for?
On and off about probably near the start. So, yeah, late 2020 again.
Fair play,
So
mate.
you're a bit of a veteran.
Yeah, I don't watch it every week, but yeah, on and off.
That's fine. We don't expect everyone to gorge every single week. You can get a lot.
After all, we're not a cult.
Yeah, it's not a cult or anything. So,
true, yeah.
how are you finding Clan World at the moment? Have you got any interesting stories or gripes or rants to bring to the table?
Well, I didn't actually meet anybody about in the clown world in 2020 because I was sort of had personal stuff to deal with. But in 2021, I've been essentially awake since 2009. And I realised there was groups meeting up in 2021. And I went to a local meetup in Chesterfield. I live in Sheffield. I'm a Mancunian in Sheffield. And I think with the whole Britney Spears coming out, I basically did a lot of science research before that, many years before. And so I started giving presentations on the randomized control trial when it came out. And then when the NHS mandate hit, I was giving presentations to NHS staff for their Q&As to explain why they didn't want it. And
interesting.
I was essentially training them up to. I used to ask them for their questions, what you're going to ask to explain why you don't want it, and I'd whittle it down to one question, and then to the point where I was on a call with one of the NHS staff. I was on his internet call with, I think there were about 100 of the people on the call. It was like a group Q&A with the microbiologist. So it's an interesting, because I'm a layman. I'm not a scientist per se, but I've got an engineering background.
Well, it sounds like you were sort of on the front line with the debate and the argument that was raging through 2021.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the mandate for the NHS was early 2022,
right.
But it built up to that point. It was interesting to have the debate live with the microbiologist, because on the NHS panel they had a microbiologist who was the expert for the Britney Spears, and so when it got down to explaining what we're here for, because in science there's a hierarchy, and the RCT is the causative experiment to undertake, and anything below that is just a signal to. So let's say I used to ask people, "What's the best evidence why you're not taking it?" And people will list stuff like the yellow card data and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but that's not evidence.
No, that's what's been reported.
Exactly. They're only signals in order to conduct a hypothesis to test for. And in order to test that hypothesis, you have to conduct the RCT. And that determines the causation. So if you have a signal in the yellow card, you have to conduct the RCT in order to determine if the signal is true. That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's why the government, that's why the MHRA, they sign off the RCT first, and then once they did that in December 2020, only then did they give the Britney Spears to the public. So remember in 2020 December, early December, and on the news it was 95% effective.
Yeah,
yeah, that was true, but they never explain what it's effective for.
I think we're seeing what it's effective for now.
Safe and effective, comrade.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they have to continue the RCT to monitor the effectiveness, but they define. So they said it's 95% effective for reducing. So am I all right saying that?
Probably
C9?
not. Just say the pandemic or something like that.
Okay. Or what about Divic 91?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Okay. Okay, so when they said it was 95% effective at reducing Divic 91, that's true. But when you look at the document, they define Divic 91 specifically. So that's why definitions matter.
So you're talking about like some sort of like word magic sophistry
More
here.
Twilight language.
Yeah, I absolutely resonate with what you're saying, because when I was doing my sort of like super hardcore 36-hour deep dives into this stuff, all in sort of mid 2020, early 2020, when all the information was being spewed out, the first thing I went for was the definition of what Divic 91 actually was, and then I realised that there was this. Oh God, no, bars
Bars Hovis II. Right?
Nice.
Yeah, you like that one, Bars Hovis
Bars
II.
Hovis II.
Then I was like, well, wait a
what's
minute.
that?
What's the difference between Bars Hovis II and Divock 91? Because Bars Hovis II is allegedly like some sort of like hybrid of Bars Hovis
It's the same shit.
But Divock 91 was actually something different in its terminology and the way it was described. It was like the disease caused by Bars Hovis II. So
Yeah,
I like, we're not talking about the same thing.
That's right. That's the same. Yeah, the definition is true. So a lot of people conflate the two things. They conflate the D91 with, can I say SC2?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so a lot of people they use D91 when they really mean SC2.
Right, and did you also? I'm totally with you here. But did you also notice that at one point, Jav, they stopped saying Divock 91, and all of a sudden it was the Crown Highness.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And it was also at the same time when they stopped talking about the peasant mortality rate and they started talking about faces.
Yes. I'm with you.
So what was that last thing you just said? Started talking about what?
At first, when they were counting Divock 91, they were counting the peasant fatality rate, the deaths. But when as soon as they started talking about the Crown Highness, it was always about cases. I'm just being super careful.
The amount of reports.
And also both of them, one of them was 9 in numerology and one was 11.
Oh yeah, so that you got it again, and there was a 666 breakdown that I saw done on the Crown Highness word as well.
The numbers were all over it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I'm actually glad you've called in, Jav, and I really respect your level of Ralphabet
understanding.
Understanding to be able to, because we have obviously this is quite detailed stuff we're talking about, and we couldn't openly talk about it. But yeah,
but I mean that RCT is key because they defined 91 as a positive PCR and one or more symptom, and the symptom list was like cough, sore throat, etc., that kind of thing. So. And the 95% was relative. So in the trial, we're just talking about the Pfizer.
Michelle.
In Michelle, sorry. That's like double think every time you speak.
Of course.
All right. So I mean, in the trial there was like 22,000 in the needle group. There's 22,000 in the placebo group.
I like what you've done there.
And the good thing about the trial, I know it's flawed in other ways, but at least they used a placebo, which is very rare in needle studies. So that was nice. The good thing. So, but because even though there's 22,000 in each group, the outcome of 91 symptom was 162 in the placebo and 8 in the needle. So just those two small numbers, percentage difference between those two is 95%. So it disregards the other almost 22,000 people in each group.
Because if you think about it, if you take a group of 22,000, two different groups of 22,000 people, and then you counted any one of something with a crappy test and any one of those very broad symptoms, well, those numbers you just mentioned there, 22 or 160, that's like they're just 160 or whatever. They're tiny numbers compared to the other 22,000. It's pretty meaningless.
Yeah, well, so the absolute percentage difference was 0.84%. That's when you incorporate the 22,000 with each side. So that's the real effectiveness is 0.84% at reducing a cough.
Wow.
So you don't need a needle to reduce a cough.
Great
just
insights
need
that we're
rest.
having here on the customer services show.
Yeah. So behind it, this
So
is like
once
backstage at the Britney Spears concert tour talk, isn't it?
That's why their definitions matter. Because once you realise their definition of 91, it makes sense.
So maybe that's how these fact checkers can actually work and do what they do. And like Dom has just pointed out here, this is the difference between facts and the truth.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
facts in clown world are not the truth. It's a clown world.
That's why men can have babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and produce a milk-like substance.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just think, guys, if you've got enough nanotech inside you, you can produce a baby.
If you've got enough nano milk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nano
I mean, the facts that are based on the definition, that's the key to everything in terms of the facts.
Yeah.
You know, with the BBC have come out and verify Mariana Spring and all that.
BBC Verify, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to verify something in science specifically is to use the scientific method.
Of discovery, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, even like BBC Bite Size Key Stage 3, they've got a page on the scientific method. So as soon as she announced the Verify system, I just posted a tweet out with a screen grab of Key Stage 3 and I go, are you going to use this to verify the science?
Settle science,
fair
comrades.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually following the science.
Yeah.
Properly
combating the COVID union.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the distinction between science and pseudoscience is the use of the scientific method. So if you don't use a scientific method, that's classed as pseudoscience.
Yeah, and if you start changing the definitions and even controlling the definitions of what things are, let alone the definition of what a fact is, then, you know, the scientific method sort of goes out the window even further because you're controlling the definitions of the understanding of the results of something that you're not even using properly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think the scientific method...
Question TV sounds.
It's so well established. It's so well established, the scientific method. I mean, they don't use it very often in other disciplines, but they do in disciplines you don't hear about, like, say, physics and chemistry and that kind of thing. But when it comes to the medical industry and the prerequisites, like virology before it, they don't use it. And that's when it's pseudoscience, but because they're presented in papers and published journals.
We've got to be careful.
We might be getting into some M&M here.
Yeah. We don't want to sound Marshall Mathers. But yeah, no, we're totally with what you're saying. I'm just careful about questioning the spiral method.
It's great. It's great to hear someone who's got a backstage pass to the Britney Spears tour, though.
No, and it sounds like you've done some good work there and of actually, you know, combating the sophistry at its source. Because at the end of the day,
we could do an exercise on the scientific method because it's very easy to explain. So we can do it like you can just pick someone in the room now, and we'll go through it. So let's say, like, you take let's say you're walking down in a park, and then you hear a bang, and then you come across a body on the floor, and it's got a hole in the body in its chest. So the first step of the scientific method is you observe something in the natural phenomena in nature. So you stumble across a dude with a hole in his chest, and you've heard a bang. So you come up with your first hypothesis is going to be. So let's pick Lance. What's your first hypothesis?
Well, my first hypothesis would be maybe he's been hit by a projectile. So I guess I'd sort of
Someone's been murked with a hollow point.
I'd sort of look. Maybe the first thing I'd do is look for a projectile in the wound, or look for evidence of a projectile.
Well, that comes a bit after, but
All right,
just
yeah,
on
I'd guess he'd been shot. I guess.
Yeah, so that's your hypothesis. So now you got to test that hypothesis. So in order to test it, you got to have the shot, which is the independent variable. So that'll be the bullet, obviously with a gun. But then you got to. That's the only thing you can have. You can only have one single independent variable, and then you got to have a control as well. So the control would be a negative control, which would be everything but the bullet. So it would be like a blank bullet. And then everything stays the same in the scenario. So I know it sounds absurd, but you'd get a person or an animal. All the test conditions are the same, so it's the same arena or the same field. And one animal gets a bullet, another animal gets a blank bullet. Because you need to rule out the fact that there could be other things that could have caused the same situation.
With regards
even
to the
though it sounds absurd. Yeah, like the bang could have created such a shock in the animal or human's head, and they might have just died with a hole in their chest. You need to rule that out.
Or a blank, can give such a flash that it could cause a wound.
Yeah,
and still kill someone, and there might not be a projectile. That's why you have flashbangs, flash guards on the end of rifles when you do training. I know that
exactly. And so that's how you do it. So you need to test for the things to refute, because someone else might come along. If you didn't do the blank control section, someone might go, well, how do you know that even just the fright of the sound might have caused them to drop dead? You need to rule those things out by doing that control. So so everything but the independent variable, which is the bullet, everything else is called dependent variables, which is all fixed. It's the same distance, the same temperature in the room, etc. Everything else is fixed. The only thing you change is that bullet. That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
That's the variable.
Yeah, that's the independent variable. So it's independent variable and then dependent variable. And then the outcome matches your hypothesis. Now your hypothesis becomes true. And now it becomes a scientific theory. So that's the order things happen. Observe, hypothesize, test it becomes true, then it becomes theory. Because later down the line, there might be another variable that you've not considered. That's why science always stays at the theory level.
Right. Yeah, because then someone can come along with and sort of disprove or attempt to disprove that theory with another hypothesis and another set of evidence.
But the science changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it changes. It only changes by coming up with another thing in the experimental setup that you've not thought about.
Yeah, so it shows that really all throughout the Soviet Union, the scientific method basically hasn't been applied barely once.
No, so they didn't apply it. They haven't applied it since 1954. Well, since... All right, let's think of it like this. There's the same scenario you've come across with a dead body in the grass, right? So you've heard a bang and you come across with a body with a hole in its chest. Right. So let's say it's 3000 BC. So what's your hypothesis going to be 3,000 years ago?
Yeah, good point.
So if let's say Andy PG 3,000 years ago, he goes, I think there's this thing in my imagination called a gun with a bullet, and everyone else go, you're a nutcase. What are you on about? That wouldn't be your hypothesis because it's not within your lexicon of understanding a gun.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
So it'd be more prominent that a woolly mammoth has come and stabbed me with his tusk.
In that case, the bang could almost... Your bang's almost like a bit of a red herring. It could almost contaminate a more logical hypothesis in the absence of the bang.
Yeah, exactly. And so when they came up with the spiky ball hypothesis, the spiky ball hypothesis, you're with me.
Yep, I love that.
Yeah, the nano ball.
Yep. Pretty picture.
So, yeah, they came up with that hypothesis without even the lexicon of understanding being in existence first. So it's like saying 3,000 years ago, I think a bullet killed that guy.
Great perspective.
Yeah, I'm just unpacking that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it, and I'm just going to have to develop some new alphabet off the cuff here. I've heard it that the people's pandemic was essentially
in the modern day.
Go on.
Let's say in the modern day there are guns. So you came across in the field, there's a guy with a hole in his chest. So most people would go, he's been shot. But what if Andy PG went, I think a unicorn came and stabbed it with its horn, and that's why it's got a hole in its chest.
I mean, that's more likely.
1 in a million chance. Yeah, so it's a 1 in a million chance someone's going to say that.
And the bang was just coincidental.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It could have been. No, that's what the unicorn makes vocally when it does the action.
So when it breaks the sound barrier, when its horn breaks the sound barrier just before it pierces you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hypothesis until it's proven or disproven.
Yeah, but the reason why you can't have that as a hypothesis is because in nature, you have no idea of a unicorn existing.
Well, not just that. A unicorn's not an unknown. It's actually known to be a mythical creature. So it's like if someone said, I got abducted by aliens, or, I got assaulted by a yeti.
Yeah, okay. Good point. Very good point. So even in the mind, the unicorn exists, even though we know it doesn't exist. So, all right, Andy PG will just have to say something like, I think you have to make up something there and then, which will be a total fantasy. So it can't be a hypothesis, because a hypothesis requires a known variable.
Actually, no. The unicorn is good, because the unicorn, if we're using it as a metaphor for the crown highness, the idea of a highness is already in the human psyche, whether it's real or not.
Yes.
So I apologise. Okay. Let me double retract that. The unicorn was actually the right analogy, because whether the unicorn exists or not, everyone knows what a fucking unicorn is, don't they?
Even if it's fictitious.
Yeah, even if they know it's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's already built in the mind's eye without even knowing it exists.
Interesting concepts brought to the table.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why it can't even be, the idea of this can't even be a hypothesis, because a hypothesis requires a known variable, like a bullet.
Right, okay.
So if we're talking backwards, so backwards, speaking backwards scientifically, is theory. The prerequisite for a theory is a hypothesis. The requirement for a hypothesis is an independent variable.
So what you're saying is the whole basis of the Soviet Union, everything it's built on,
is theoretical bullshit.
No, isn't even a theory. It's not even.
It's not a theory.
It's not even a hypothesis. It's something even lower than that.
It's a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale.
Wow. I've never actually heard it broken down like that. Thank you so much for calling in, because we can sit here and go, yeah, this is all bullshit. They use sophistry, but to actually
that's step by step.
That's actually broken it down.
Yeah.
So that the scientific.
This is going to make a great bite size.
Oh yeah. Like a Slick Rick. This is you. That's a fantastic bite size. Yeah. So it really is true, based on what you've just said, that the scientific method.
Great callers tonight. We've got some great callers.
Yeah, tonight we've only had like 3 callers, but they've all been really good.
Yeah. Once you understand it, because a child can understand the scientific method. That's why it's in BBC Key Stage 3 bite size.
Yeah.
I bet. Do you reckon they still show that? Or is that pre-COVID at times when they were allowed to show that to kids?
Well, it's on their website.
Oh, it's still on there now. It's still
that.
on there today. Okay, right. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I replied to Mariana Spring. I just copied the screenshot of Key Stage 3 bite size.
Oh, right, it's still there.
Showing the scientific method, going, well, when you do verification of science, are you going to use your own BBC material?
That's brilliant.
Gosh.
I'm going to assume you didn't get a response from Mariana Spring.
No, I'm small fries. I'm not.
You're still waiting for that.
But well, who's that guy who was on a Rich Planet? Richard D. Halls, the guy who wrote The Mind Control, Neil Sanders.
Right.
Because he sort of interviewed her on his show. Because he's on her show, isn't he?
What, Mariana Spring?
Yeah, he was on her Panorama show, I think.
Right.
He wrote that Mind Control book. But he's trying to sort of debunk a lot of the conspiracy material as well.
Right. I think he's jumped over the other side of the fence, hasn't he?
That's it. It's called Non Dare Call It Conspiracy with another guy called Brent.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm friends with this guy on Facebook.
Yeah, Neil Sanders. I am as well.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, what? So is he like trying to? He's on the debunking tip now, is he?
Yeah.
Not sort of half and half.
All right. So he straddles both sides of the fence.
Yeah, so he's on. Well, I don't. This is because I'm not into sides or fences or that kind of thing. I'd rather get to the heart of the matter. And
sure.
So, he's on Marianne's podcast, not the current one, but the last one. He was on that. I think he only got a few seconds though. He said it got edited out mostly.
Right.
Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because there was, can I say the word Midaz and Lamb?
Just if you change it to Matt, and then say the last word.
Matt Dazzle.
Yeah, Matt Dazzler or something like that.
Matt Dazzler.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. Well, someone used my on my Twitter. I've got a pinned post, and it's about that. It's a thread on that. And the first one's the BMJ article. Anyway, there's a high correlation with that drug and others. I don't know if any of you know about correlation numbers, but 1 is considered perfect. So a correlation of 1 is perfect, and you almost never get that in correlation studies. But high ones above like 0.5, 0.6, they're considered really significant. And if you watch Professor Fenton's stuff,
no,
that's kind of his bag. So
he put some good stuff out there, didn't he, Fenton? Put some really good stuff.
Say again.
He put some really good stuff out as Professor Fenton.
Oh yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, I posted that to him and his colleague, Professor Martin Neal. And Martin Neal said, he replied and he went, "It's on my to-do list." So he's gonna look at it. Anyway, the Matt Dazzler stuff, the correlation figure was 0.93. This is April 2020. The correlation between deaths and those drugs, which is ridiculous.
So that means 93%.
No. It don't quite work like that. It means it's a correlation of 0.93. You kind of can weirdly think of it like that.
So, there's a very high correlation that was almost 100%. I'm in the right way of thinking about it. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So it's called a Spearman's coefficient. Yeah, it's 0.93, which is literally very, very rare to get that high.
That's a positive correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say the least, yeah.
We better wind it up, guys, I think.
Yeah. Dom, you've got to shoot, haven't you?
Dom needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we didn't quite get to finish the full fact, but we'll
join up some point.
We can save that for next time.
We got enough done tonight, I think, lads.
Yeah, mate.
I think we pondered it quite well tonight.
We had a little tour de force of the rabbit hole. Dom, great to speak to you, and big shout to Chris, who's already retired.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
All right, rise above, mate.
Take care.
No, mate, I just want to say thank you very much for calling in. It's great to have someone that's actually, sort of dissected
thinking about this in this way.
Yeah, because like we say, we skip over a lot of the detail and we talk about the gist a lot and we have a laugh. But it's nice to hear the mechanics.
This is logically thinking fully out of the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, if you think in court cases that they don't do dichotomies, so they let's say I don't know, pick one, flat v round earth, right?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have that in a court case, flat versus round. Just in the same way, you don't have Andy's the murderer and Lance's the murderer.
You have to do things one at a time.
Yeah, you do things so you do Andy versus not.
Yeah.
And then you move on to Lance versus not.
Yeah, you don't do was it Lance or was it Andy all in one go.
Exactly. So you do claimant versus refuter.
It was Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
So you do the claimant has to bring the evidence.
Yeah.
And then
makes so much sense.
The other side. Yeah, and then the other side is the refuting of the claimed evidence. So there's refutation.
The antithesis.
And the funny thing is, it's like if you took the example which you used there, like is it flat or is it round? Like if either one of them wanted to try and claim their own side, they probably couldn't do it. All they can do is try and disprove the other side, which fuels the sort of Ouroboros style binary energy harvesting that carries on happening.
That's why they don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Because one's making a claim, and then the other side are making a claim. So you can't have a debate.
Yeah.
Because it's claim versus claim.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Really, the arena should be claim versus refuter. And that's how it should be. So let's say someone's going, Lance is the murderer in court, and then I refute that claim using evidence and going through the claimant's evidence and showing how it's in the hierarchy of evidence it's poor. So let's say Lance's prosecutor is going, I've got 1,000 people that said they saw him. It doesn't matter because you can bring in like video and documentary evidence that you're on the other side of the world with another 1,000 people on the other side of the world.
That's
going,
why he's my double for that.
Yeah, but the documentary evidence is going to trump the witness evidence.
Every time, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Because witnesses can be picked apart. They
Variable.
They can be discredited. Whereas,
they can be paid off.
Yeah, they can be paid off. They can be killed. They can be silenced.
That's why there's an evidence hierarchy. So it doesn't matter if you have 60,000 witnesses going, I was there, I saw him. You only need one documentary evidence that will trump all those 60,000.
And now in the world of deep fakes and AI, that's going to really, really mix things up.
Oh yeah, big time, yeah. But and so if someone defends Lance and wins and goes, right, you didn't do it, you wouldn't have another side going, well, if you can't bring the actual murderer, we're just gonna stick with Lance doing it. Doesn't make sense. You can't. It's the whole thing with health. They're going, well, if that didn't cause the illness, what did cause your illness? And then you go, well, doesn't matter. We just know it's not that.
Yeah, one thing at a time, comrade.
a separate argument. It's a separate court case.
No, I'm totally with you. Absolutely.
Great chatting to you tonight, my man.
Yes. Was it Jav?
Jav, yeah.
Yeah, Jav.
We're better.
We've got to wrap it up. We've gone over a little bit. I was only supposed to do until midnight tonight. I want to say thank you very much for calling in. You've actually been a brilliant caller.
All the callers tonight have been great.
Yeah, I want to say,
great to dissect.
I want to say
Shout
a
out
big
to
thank you
Sheep
to
Farm
everyone
for coming on tonight.
Yeah, but we do have to wrap it up there. It's gone a little bit later than we expected. So yeah, Jav, thanks very much for calling in, mate. Rise above.
Every positive movement, every conversation, every connection, every seed you plant, ripple. Don't let anyone ever tell you that one person can't make a change. Bullshit.
On the dawn of a harvest sun, are we speaking the truth in the sharpest tongue? Feast on a rabbit, served with a garnished lunch. We got the hardest puns. Mind master, trust your ability. NPC is an IQ deficiency. They're living in mental captivity. I'll never submit to these bloodline dynasties. On the dawn of a harvest, crops are sown to trade corn with the farmers. Sometimes I want out of this nightmare society, like I was born with the Amish. I've got the formula mastered, claiming our power, there's more to be harnessed. I'm no ordinary artist, try wage war, I'll be forming the armies. QRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox.
On the night of a harvest moon, I take flight to the farthest tomb. I meditate in the darkest room by the candlelight until the spark exhumes. On the night of a harvest, I see a silhouette hunter hold up a carcass. Any heartbeat's a target, and blood trails the ground like red carpet. On the night of a harvest moon, so sacred, silk on an ancient loom. Hooded robes in ritual rooms, pray all night from yesterday's moon. On the night of a harvest, farmers emerge and they set up a market. It's all business regardless, where your loot is bought and sold and bartered.
QRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox. On the dawn we glance to the east. We ain't scared of the mark of the beast. Performing sacred rituals, nobody but a shaman and me. If they wanna take me out, they better come with at least 33 Schwabi and fleet. Cause I won't go quietly, they're gonna have to do more to silence me. That's the irony, lost in this messed up society. They wanna force their views on our offspring, teaching our children that gender's non-binary. This is social engineering to try fulfill transhuman agenda. Al Gore better come prepared, cause I ain't in the mood to be censored. QRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox.
I'm a freelance quantum gardener with a homemade combine harvester. So when I see your crops wilting, I got the organic rod that will harden them. This realm rotates in cycles, encounter rotational Solomon spirals. Masons build towers like Eiffel and vortex points to drain your vital. Simulacrums appear cyclical, toroidal electro-spiritual. The holosphere projects physical, the manifestational synergy's mythical. We got problems, parasitical inside this torus field is critical. Henceforth mankind is pitiful. Rise and shine, please explain.
We have had some new terms, some new
Ramish language.
Ramish vocab has been added in the last 18 months from new happenings, new levels of understanding that we've come to. And every 50 episodes, I think that should become a thing.
I think it's important that people understand our language, because it's, you got to teach people your language, haven't you?
Because we do want to attract new visitors, new viewers, and new regulars. And it's important that they do have a full understanding of everything we talk about, because we can't say things plainly and clearly because of Al Gore.
You have to know the dance steps, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Otherwise, you're just going to get flattened on the dance floor. Al Gore's just going to bogle all over you.
Mm-hmm. He's going to do the foxtrot over your ass.
He is going to do the foxtrot over your ass. G,
global parasite media.
The GPM.
The GPM, again, something that we covered in Raw Agenda 2033. So this is our term that we've coined for all of, the global clan world parasite media. There's no other way to put it than that. A dying dinosaur, which still, has got his teeth in a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's not like limp and dying in everyone's world. In our world, it might be useless.
It's rife.
Yeah, it's still particularly effective to at least 66% of peasants.
That's funny you say that, mate.
I'd say more.
Baal, come on, 66 demon armies.
There you go.
Of course.
33 salutations to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, G is for global parasite media or global parasite media. Please, pretty self-explanatory.
This is what we're directly combating.
Do you know what? Baal is the perfect demon to choose for this as well, the parasite media. Perfect one because of what it represents. Is it uncanny? He flicked onto that and I was reading all about the Baal.
Really?
Yeah.
What else you got?
Oh, mate, there's so many to say. So, the Baal, let's flip back up again. So, it's Christian, one of 7 princes of hell, originally the primary idol and meaning of the Lord. The Phoenicians are possibly linked to human sacrifice. And by the time the New Testament come along, fully installed, mate. They're perceived as evil, the pagans. 66 legions. See you later. It was a Satan principal assistant. Power to do all sorts of most powerful in October. Think about
Of course. That's Halloween.
That's what I'm saying. And all the other things going on in October as well.
Harvest. It's the harvest
end
month.
of season, yeah.
Yeah, it's the harvest month.
Global parasite media. Okay, G's for that. Up next.
G is for Grandmaster Ginny, ladies and gentlemen.
Take it away, Andy PG.
This gentleman is highly featured on Ramesh television.
I can hear Jimmy.
He's we've concluded here on the committee of Rizabovian directors that he was the actual wizard for the Windsor family.
Grand wizard. He's a grand
the Grand Wizard of the Windsor family. Because like we've discussed, every castle needs a wizard.
Yeah, every royal family needs an occultist advisor.
I think in the Guardians spoke about him about saying, what a perfect character he was.
Almost too good, almost like created for the role. Like Lord Schwab is created for the
And like we were talking about him earlier, he amongst the circles we're talking about of these satanic psychopaths, he would have been highly respected for all the people's lives that he ruined.
He was able to just operate in broad daylight in a fucking tracksuit.
Yeah, mate. When you take a look at him now, you think, how do people not know he was a paedophile?
Dirty looking geezer as well. Man. Even when he was younger, he looked
like he was in a cult. Do you know what I mean? He was in his own cult with some other people that did very similar things to him, like Sidney Cook and
he was
Edward Heath. And
who was the one who was in prison? Who got mates in prison with? Was it Sidney Cook? No,
I can't remember.
Omar and myself have ddone more research into Grandmaster Ginny than anyone should ever shake a stick at, and we've revealed, I'm not saying it's really hidden stuff, but you've got to look for it or at least pay attention. His actual full titles like Grand Master of the Equestrian Order of Beloved Saint Nicholas, and stuff like that. And
he was born on Halloween.
He was born on Halloween. Yeah.
He what is he? Part of 7?
No, he's 4th down from the Pope.
Third down from the Pope in that night of the Garter. He was a 7th son, wasn't he?
That's it. The 7th son.
Did you see Robert De Niro has just had a kid at 79 years old, and it's his 7th child?
Yeah,
you see that?
Yeah,
you notice that?
And Robert De Niro was highly pro-COVID.
Definitely eats children.
Yeah, 100%.
What's he called his for 7th kid out of interest?
I'm not sure. Probably Lucifer.
Not Jimmy.
Luca.
So Grand Master the Jimmy,
and we spell him the way we have because obviously we're referring to the jinn,
yes,
which is the Hebrew demon. Is it Hebrew? The Hebrew demons, aren't they?
I think
no, the opposite. Islamic demons.
Islamic demons. Yeah.
No, a Hebrew demon is called a dibbet.
That's it. Yeah, the dibbet. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well,
that's what I was going to say. Rewind to what I was saying earlier on about sausage fingers. I mentioned Grandmaster G as well. Grandmaster D, sorry. It seems like now I mean, we have not stopped talking about Grandmaster Jimmy. Same sausage fingers almost every week.
Yeah.
We've been nailing it down people's throats. He wasn't just a paedophile.
We use him on thumbnails.
There's a lot more to this guy. We've been talking about it a lot. Now, I remember before Rise Above started, when I first started looking into Grandmaster Jimmy, typing in, is Jimmy Savile a wizard? We'll basically come up with one single documentary on YouTube that's 40 minutes long. You've seen it. I remember I showed it to you, right? And it's still there. It's still very good. Yeah. But I did, when I was looking for this picture, I did the same search yesterday, right?
Did you find the Kiss in the Ring?
No, but I found like a lot of his for Is Jimmy Savile a Wizard? Daily Star. Shocking claim, Jimmy Savile a cult. Inside the Dark Heart of Jimmy Savile. Shocking claim, Daily Star, is Jimmy Savile a wizard?
Do you think this is the admission thing? Now he's gone.
Well, it's out there, isn't it? Now they've put it out there.
But basically,
or is it a flooding to like distort the reality?
I don't know. Maybe is it because that we've in our
have we done that?
Is it in our egregore that like now it's accepted that Jimmy Savile's a wizard? So when I type it into Google, that's what I see. I just don't know anymore. I'm starting to think reality is much more fluid than we previously thought. You know, now everyone calls them sausage fingers. It's like the accepted term.
It's weird, man.
It's kind of weird. You know, in a way, I'm not surprised.
We're rewriting the timeline.
Let me tell you. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
The content creators, what?
The sickest content creators in the crater. Right, Grandmaster Ginny.
Does Jason think that the reset cycle is somehow connected to the level of consciousness among the human population?
100%. Let me explain why. The 1902, it's very obvious that the elite were waiting for something, and it didn't happen to the magnitude that they were expecting. So it's like a breath of fresh air. I have like 7 videos on 1902 explaining all the new stuff, new innovations, new text, translations of old text, new inventions, and the origin of all the Fortune 500 companies that exist today. All can be traced back to companies that started in 1902. So even Harley Davidson, 1903. And I have listed these countries, these companies. I have very impressive videos showing all this phenomenon. And it's amazing that it's almost as if the elite, okay, cool, nothing happened. So they came back up and they unleashed all their technology, and they even unleashed their new libraries. New publishing companies appeared producing new libraries full of all new books telling all new versions of the historical past.
And you also commented in the last video as well about the stock exchange being redone at that time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, the stock exchange, but it was also all the elite families were in on it. The Carnegies funded thousands of libraries, and so did the Rockefellers, and so did the Rothschilds. They were all in on it. They were all building new libraries for new communities and stocking them all up with new books from new publishing companies that were just created. What happened has been so widely covered up. It is amazing that Charles Fort and myself were able to put all this data together to show it in videos. It's amazing. But people all over the world have done their own homework. They've been sending me the microfiche files from their own little community libraries, and everything I've said in these 1902 videos is true. A red star did appear in the sky. Strange phenomena were seen in the sky for about a 3-month period. Red dust, red rain, red mud, volcanic activity, earthquakes, all these things were reported in the microfiche and the local level. But on the national and international level, it was censorship. Nothing is mentioned.
So if you think about what's happening now with the change of the internet styles going from you can find any research on the internet like a library, and then you're going to be asking the internet questions, and that's it. That's the same process, isn't it?
I agree.
That sounds evil. What's coming through that needle? Leaving the people feeble. Swear this must be illegal. Better go do your research. End up looking like Smeagol. That's the sheeple. But I don't hate them. We are the people we've been lied to. Some are too far gone, can't help if you try to. When will they open their eyes to? Gotta stand and fight like Ryu. Don't let the truth fly by you.
The food is fake, the medicine's fake, the education system is fake. They want you fighting with a force in your head all day long so you never get a break. They don't want you meditating in the sunshine with big fruit sitting by the lake. They want you dumb down till you listen to Drake. They want the teenagers to all sell flake. They ain't gonna give, they're always gonna take. They want you in as this buying a steak. They ain't gonna share one slice of the cake. They ain't even gonna follow the rules they make. They ain't even gonna follow the rules they bring on the one for you better know that I'm a king. They killed the indigenous and made us all prisoners, and that's the real reason I do my thing. Like beat the matrix, defeat the matrix. Stand up, don't take a seat in the matrix. You gotta watch while you're eating the matrix. Can't touch process meat in the matrix. Life ain't fair in the matrix. Drink booze if you're there in the matrix. You gotta learn self-care in the matrix. Always gonna need Tupperware. Yo, come to your party. Empty headlight, ramming on my heart. I'm pulling that parsley. Rolling with the electric army. Babylon sending the whole world barmy. Don't want Gucci, don't want Versace. Man, I gotta go deep, get to Samadhi. Meditate every day and do Pilates. So don't offer me K on your car keys. I don't need a watch, I'm the watcher. I don't drink coffee in Costa. They just right here, I never lost her, so you won't see me stepping on a Foster. I don't need a watch when I'm watching. I got powers like Austin. God's right here, I never lost it. Merge with the one, I don't care what it's costing.
I said, yo, this is more than lyrics, practical magics or quantum physics. Fasting and bargains with evil spirits who acquiesce to appease my critics. Infinite essence can't be diminished when the fear inside your heart is extinguished. Spellcast, Enochian English, ULL, the illimited linguist. 7 names on Sumerian kings list. Nephilim ethics of Aryan princes. Skeptical methods of mothers and witches and shamans who mix plants in the kitchen, tied to a stake against their wishes. That's with the concepts of kerosene pitches, burnt to a crisp, the word from a witness, hung by the neck and then dump them in ditches. Suppressing all knowledge of source, perplexed by a powerful force, stretching the timeline to alter the course. History's homage to Artontic lords. But I'm here to revive what they hidden and I keep it alive. I'll make sure the sun, moon and stars and the planets alive when I vocalize. Rise above, Ryan Sanders, rise above. MC Double L, rise above, when we extinguish fear.
Mass awakening pending. This new earth is beginning, it's not ending. They know what you're thinking, they know what you're spending. This ancient Babylon system stays violating. It's frustrating, I hope Christ returns, but till then I'm not twiddling thumbs or waiting. Inorganic species send back the